Today, on Be Something Wonderful, I manifested my SP after 7 years of no contact. And you can too. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. I have a big video for you today, and I know I say that every day, almost every morning, but this really feels massive. And I think it's going to be the biggest video we have shared to date, or at least the biggest video on manifesting a specific person, but really in terms of manifesting anything. And it was an email that we received from one of you late last night. And this is the source of today's video. Very powerful. She manifested her specific person after 7 years of no contact. And she did that within a 2-week time frame. I want to show you her comments, and then we're going to unpack this like we never have before. I started following you about 2 weeks ago. And with one of your videos, I suddenly knew that what you say is truth. Wow. Guess what? I manifested my SP last week after 7 years with no contact. Now remember, for those of you that are new to these ideas, SP means a specific person, right? Someone that is important in her life. Manifested this person back after 7 years of no contact. 2 weeks ago, she found the channel. With one of the videos, she had this anomalous burst of energy that Vadim Zeland talks about in reality transurfing. The idea of having such a shift within her consciousness, within her being, that she understood the truth that was already within her as her own I am awareness of being. Right? The truth's already there. Guess what? She says, I manifested my specific person last week after 7 years with no contact. Wow. So what happened? We're going to show you this today like we never have before. Now remember, I'm sharing what she said in the email, but she didn't share details of what she was imagining, what she was affirming. She went to this idea that 2 weeks ago, she found our channel. And with one of the videos, she had this sudden knowing, this sudden burst of anomalous burst of energy or source energy. This knowing that what you say is the truth. What we're talking about is the truth, but it's your truth. Right? Guess what? I manifested my SP last week after 7 years of no contact. How? It's wow, but how? Because I know you're going to ask how. Well, what happened? Remember, she collapsed time, space, and her 3D physical experience, her 3D physical reality, hear this, into one single powerful, potent point of power or potential. In other words, that identity and version of her, for whom and through whom her desired reality of being with her specific person is real or reality. Wow, this is what I'm starting to call your 0-point identity, referring to the idea that the quantum scientists talk about, this idea of the 0-point energy field, right? Where there's just stillness and all power and all potential in that moment. Well, this is the idea, right? This is what happened to her, for sure, right? She collapsed time, space, in her entire 3D physical experience into one single powerful, potent identity, or one single powerful, potent point of potential. All that she is, I am that I am. She had that knowing. She knew the truth. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the light. For whom and through whom all her desired realities are real. Do you see it? Not just her specific person, sure, that happened. But for all of it, she moved to that 0-point identity. And out from that identity sprung a new horizontal linear physical experience. Do you see this? The idea of shifting timelines or scripts or film rolls or parallel alternative realities. That's powerful. So let's show you this. She even says, suddenly I knew the truth. Suddenly, she goes, I knew this is the secret to life. Wow. Because she was talking about whether she heard that I'll be in Europe this summer, and she's in Europe, and she was wondering if we're going to do seminars and training and coaching and all of that. She'd be very interested in doing that with us. Well, this is powerful, but I love this. I suddenly knew the truth. You, I am, your awareness is all pure knowing. That's the truth. That's why Jesus, your I am awareness, this is why the ancients said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Wow, what a powerful demonstration. In her words, this is what she's saying. That she knew the truth of her source as the creator. No one comes to the Father. Notice the ancients use the word comes instead of goes. Because you're already there. You're one with source. You're not going to source. No one comes to the Father except through me. Look at the wording there. Not go, but comes. You're already there. She had this knowing. So I want to give you a visual of what it looked like to her 2 weeks ago before discovering us. Right? Now, she didn't say this. I'm sort of unpacking the ideas around her email. 2 weeks ago, she had not heard from that SP yet. Right? She had not heard. Right? That for it's been 7 years. 7 years. 2 weeks ago, she was on this sort of linear horizontal timeline or script or idea of her experience of reality. Remember that timeline, or you're shifting timelines and parallel alternative realities and identities in every moment. But to show you this, she was in that present manifested frame of not having any contact, no contact for 7 years. Past to the present, 7 years. You see it? No contact in the past, no contact now. And of course, as you continue in that idea of who you are in your reality, you create no contact in the future. No contact, no contact, no contact. Creating this 3D physical objective experience of reality, even though there is no objective reality, it's all within you, but you reflect and you project that 3D physical experience. Here she is. This idea from the frame, you see the frame, and you created out from that idea or that frame comes that timeline or that horizontal linear experience. And around that horizontal linear experience, you form this objective physical experience that's not objective at all. It's within you. You create this hologram of your physical reality. And you feel like you're in the center of that with nothing moving, nothing changing. 7 years, nothing changed. You see, sometimes we feel stuck in our own matrix or our own hologram that we're projecting and reflecting. Do you see it? And we create this horizontal linear experience where, yeah, no contact for 7 years, still no contact, there'll be no contact. And remember that this idea of timelines or scripts or parallel alternative realities, all possibilities exist. So it's never about changing any one idea or timeline or script or reality. All that is all that is. It's not about changing any part of all that is. So you don't ever change this timeline. It has its own fate. That's why Course in Miracles says the script is written. All scripts are written, but there are infinite scripts. There are infinite lifelines. There are infinite timelines. There are infinite possibilities or film rolls or identities or physical projected reflected experiences that you can create. So it's not trying about changing any of that. It's about choosing, right? But as you believe there's 7 years of no contact, you create that linear, limited, separate, horizontal experience. She felt separate from what she wanted and desired. Of course, It feels separate from us. So take a look at that. Take a snapshot of this, because we're going to move to the next one. We can come back to this. Let me mark this. But this is powerful. 2 weeks ago. Okay, then what happens? A week into it, right? I think, what did she say here? Yeah, last week, after 7 years of no contact, a week after finding us, last week, she manifested her specific person after 7 years of no contact. What happened? She took this reality right here and she collapsed it. Collapsed time and space. From watching our videos, from hearing the message, from the truth resonating with her, had this anomalous burst of energy or knowing that she is, the knowing that she is, the awareness that she is, that collapsed that horizontal linear experience and collapsed that holographic 3D experience into this 0 point identity is what I'm calling it now, where you're all potential, where you're all power, where I am that I am, into this one single powerful point of potential or identity. And she creates a new timeline, a new script, a new parallel alternative reality. Do you see? From that point springs this new timeline and this new 3D physical experience that now she's with her SP within that experience. It no longer feels dark and solid. Instead, it feels like the physical experience is always changing. She's in this idea that I'm not ever trapped in it, but I create the physical experience so I can experience myself as source, so I can know myself experientially. Notice the difference here. They're not the dark, solid lines here, or where you feel trapped in the frame. It's right here, right? She creates this. She creates this new idea of who she is. And then there's this new timeline that just springs out from this 0 point identity, from this one single powerful point of potential. Out from that springs all of it. And now you create a past, present, and future where you've always been together with that specific person. Do you see it? From this manifested frame, she's still in that physical experience, but knows that it's not solid at all. That she's creating it in every moment. She creates the idea of that past where she has always been in contact, and that future where she'll always be in contact. So I want to show this. The old reality, that old, what we always call the old reality, remember, realities are always shifting and changing. So there's nothing truly old, right? But they're always shifting and changing. But that former reality, where she was in no contact, collapsed inward to within her, returning to pure potential. It just returns. It doesn't disappear. It goes back to pure potential. It always exists, but she's no longer lighting that up. She's no longer choosing that. It still exists as a potential, but it goes back into pure potential as a new timeline or script or parallel alternative reality springs forth from that 0 point identity. That new timeline springs forth and creating, manifesting, and reflecting and projecting a new physical 3D world experience. Wow. And remember, the message always is this collapsing, this shifting, this creating, this manifesting, this reflecting and projecting is happening in every moment. Every moment from you knowing and experiencing yourself as source. But the question is, are you experiencing yourself as the seeker or the source? The created or the creator? Do you see? That was her anomalous burst of energy. She knew the truth of who she is. It was that knowing that moved her from focusing on the created to being the creator, from being the seeker to being the source. That's it. Do you see this? It's so powerful. Wow. That's how it happens. See, that new projection, that new experience. Whew. That's powerful. She said this, and her words were so powerful in this email, a very short email, right? But powerful. She said, the impossible suddenly became possible. We are the power. I know this is the secret to life. That's why she was asking, she wants to work more with us on this. And again, I have talked about reality transurfing in the book by Vadim Zeland many times in older videos, right? In videos that are on the channel, you should check those out. But he points to this idea of her experience. And remember, it's not a one-off experience. You can't not know now what you know. You can't unknow that. She knows herself as source. There's no getting away from that, right? Vadim Zeland says this, sometimes, this is in reality transurfing, there are peak moments when the impossible seems possible. Wow! It's almost like Vadim Zeland's talking about her, right? Such a shift, such a sharp shift happens. She talks about suddenly, right? A sharp, sudden shift. When some unusual piece of information excites the imagination. This is her experience as she watched the videos 2 weeks ago. A week later, after 7 years, she manifests her specific person back. Wow. This unusual piece of information excites the imagination. An anomalous burst of energy, this is what Vadim Zeland says, opens the conscious mind to sectors of the alternative space. That's what he calls all that is, all that potential, that 0 point field or the quantum field or whatever you want to call it, where all potential is. Opens the conscious mind to sectors of that field. In other words, to timelines and possibilities and alternative parallel realities. And he says here that lie at great distance from those that are currently realized materially. Well, the idea of distance is an idea of linear thinking, right? A limited physical mind. So when Vadim Zeland's talking about lying at great distance, just simply from what you are putting your focus and attention on in this moment, right? Because everything's here and now. But that's what it gives you that, as you try to understand that from your linear, physical, horizontal mind, you believe that sector, that reality, that timeline seems so far away or at great distance from you. But she collapsed time and space with that knowing. That's powerful, right? And so that it opens your conscious mind to that sector, to that idea. That's what she did. She collapsed it all, right? This idea where she was living this, 7 years of no contact, creating a physical experience that seems so solid and you feel so trapped and it seems so immovable. You don't know how to get out of that, right? And that frame feels so solid. It feels like that past is fact, where you're just creating it right now. There's no facts to it. There are no 7 years of no contact when you say so, right? And so that script is written so you don't change any of that potential. You don't change any part of that potential. Instead, you collapse it back into potential and what springs forth that new idea of who you are, that new idea of that alternative parallel reality, that new idea of that script or lifeline or timeline that you want to experience. That's what springs forth as you collapse time and space into that 0 point identity, who you really are, that I am awareness, I am that I am. Wherever that comes from. For her, it came from watching those videos for a week. And she just had that anomalous burst, that knowing that she is. One single powerful point of potential and springs forth this new idea of who you are. Yes, you're still creating the physical idea of the physical 3D world experience, but it's no longer seems like hard, dark lines. You know you can be in the middle of it with everything that you love and desire. And here, in this case, it's her specific person. And then you create the past where you've always been in love, where there was never no contact, and a future where you're going to always manifest and receive and experience what you want and desire. Whew. Very powerful. Very powerful. That's it. That's how she did it. And we have another video coming out on the Tom Kearin channel following this one from another one of you, one that I actually talked with a few times about the situation she was in, right? Who was divorced, right? Going through a lot of emotion with it, still agreeing to be parents for their children, still together. But then they fell back in love, and she manifested that. And we're going to talk about this on the Tom Kearin channel. I manifested my specific person after 7 years of no contact, and you can too. And not just your specific person, but anything that you want, desire. That's the message here. Collapse time and space into that 0-point identity. What is that? That's I am that I am. I am that ideal reality. I am everything that I've always imagined myself to be. And watch. Watch how your world changes, the likes of which you have never seen before. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and these are the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting on the videos. Thank you for joining us on our other YouTube channel, The Tom Kearin. Another big video coming on that. And a week from today, we're going to have our second live event on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel, where I answer your questions live as you ask them on our live stream. Our second one of the year at 12 noon time Pacific time. Join us. It's going to be fun. That's next weekend. I'll be sending out an announcement, or the team will be sending out another announcement today or tomorrow. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.